It is all over the news that Big U and his Rollin 60s goons have earned a reputation for being involved in just about everything you can think of. Robberies, allegedly pulling the strings behind the scenes, and extortion like it's second nature.
Federal investigators now say he ran what they're calling a mafia-like organization responsible for serious crimes across LA.
And with this current RICO just getting started, there are a few rappers who've already had a first-hand taste of who the Rollin 60s were, from the rumored kidnapping of Meek Mill by Loose Cannon.
What you do to Meek Mill?
No.
Oh, no. I did hear in the interview.
Yeah.
It said y'all was trying to No, that's cap though.
No, he was in LA when it happened.
To the controversial confrontation with DJ Khaled during that Nipsey video shoot.
But there was a lot of big politics getting into it with certain people. You know, Hussle had DJ Khaled in the hood, and Hussle frontline that. And, you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that.
Not to mention Big U going after SKG.
After I got out of jail, I got a call a couple of days later that Big U had put a hit out on me. He put a hit out on me because I took up for myself because I'm not gonna let you punk me.
These are moments where rappers didn't really have a choice. Let's dive into it. Let's kick this off with Chris Brown. Even though everyone knows he's not a rapper, he's recognized as a huge R&B star with a bunch of hits and a pretty messy past. He's had his fair share of drama over the years, but things got a little different when he ran into Big U. Chris had some rumored ties to the Bloods, and when it came to Big U, real name Eugene Henley, things got messy. There were some serious claims about extortion, with Big U being linked to criminal stuff through the Rollin 60s Neighborhood Crips. According to a post on X from April 16, 2025, WAC 100 said that Big U extorted Chris Brown out of more than 500 pairs of sneakers, although he didn't believe any of it. Considering Chris Brown's supposed alliance, he said he believed that Big U might have exaggerated the whole thing.
And I believe, I could be lying, only CB would know, I believe that Big U might have been over-exaggerating, saying 500 pairs, a lot of goddamn pairs of shoes, right?
And the wild part, Big U kind of admitted it himself during some kind of sit-down where he and Chris were literally side by side.
This young man just gave out 500 pair of tennis shoes. And he about to give out another 500 pair of tennis shoes.
It really makes you wonder just how far Big U was willing to go. Next up is SKG. In an interview with Tasha K back in December 2023, she made some heavy claims against Big U. She said he physically assaulted her while she was pregnant. This happened at Nipsey Hussle's t-shirt store. According to her, Henley, who's a big dude, around 6'5" inches and over 300 pounds, hit her in the face multiple times because she didn't follow his instructions during some business situation. She even said Nipsey had called her to the store, making it feel like a setup. But later on, she said they made peace before his passing in 2019. Her story got mixed reactions online. A lot of women stood with her and spoke out against the violence, but some people came at her for even bringing up Nipsey. Some doubted her story or tried to downplay it. Still, people from the community backed her up and said her story reflects a bigger issue, how women are often mistreated in the hip-hop world. Then in March 2025, SKG told TMZ that Big U had been extorting her for years. She didn't hold back. She called him a monster and said he would threaten other artists so they wouldn't work with her, and even had her beaten up more than once.
Big U is facing a lot of serious charges right now. I mean, you've spoken out about him in the past. I mean, do you think there's any truth to these allegations?
All the allegations are true, yeah, because I was a victim, and the things that he has done to me, he's a monster.
Her claims match up with the federal charges against Henley, who's accused of using his Rollin 60s Crips ties to scare and shake down people around LA. And in an April 1st interview on No Jumper with Adam 22, she dropped another bomb. SKG said Big U put a hit out on her after she got out of jail, and she only found out because someone called her a few days later.
After I got out of jail, I got a call a couple of days later that Big U had put a hit out on me.
Oh, wow.
And so a few people called and told me, but one person that called me.
She also slammed folks who were rooting for Big U's release, pointing to the serious stuff he's accused of, like allegedly being involved in the 2021 murder of 21-year-old rapper Rayshawn Williams. And the list doesn't stop. This next rapper actually lost his life. The conspiracy surrounding PnB Rock's death was more allegedly a Rollin 60s thing, involving Brick Baby. The whole situation between Brick Baby and PnB Rock is just straight up tragic, and it really shows how serious things got with Big U's alleged extortion game. Brick Baby, real name Zahir Mitchell, was a rapper tied to the Rollin 60s and a regular on the No Jumper podcast. He used to talk pretty openly about the whole checking in thing, which is basically when artists have to get approval or protection when they come to LA. Then in September 2022, PnB Rock was killed during a robbery at a restaurant. Cops think someone connected to Henley tipped others off about where PnB was. According to a federal indictment, during the robbery, Henley's crew told PnB to cooperate and said they'd get his jewelry back later, which of course never happened.
So when it happened, I wish I could have just told him, like, bro, just give up the jewelry and we get it back to you later, but it just happened so fast.
Loose Cannon, another guy caught up in the RICO case, said on No Jumper that he and Henley were on ground at Roscoe's when everything started to heat up.
At the end of the day, it was me and Big Useless in there when it happened.
This revelation marked Big U as a possible accomplice in that case. People online and in news reports have been throwing around all kinds of theories about how much influence Henley really had in situations like this. But so far, the indictment doesn't say he directly planned PnB Rock's murder. Instead, it paints a bigger picture. Henley allegedly used his street rep to squeeze money out of celebrities and businesses, either by making them pay to perform or promising them safety in LA. PnB's murder is part of the case, but more as a sign of the kind of intimidation that was going on, not something they're saying Henley ordered himself. Now let's talk about the wild story involving Meek Mill. This one's definitely one of the boldest moves tied to Big U and Rollin 60s. Back in 2022, Meek Mill, the Philly rapper known for Dreams and Nightmares, ran into some serious trouble while he was in LA. According to reports, he was allegedly kidnapped by members of the Rollin 60s, and they demanded a big ransom to let him go. The whole thing was supposedly planned out by Big U, and Tremaine Loose Cannon Williams, who's a rapper and one of Big U's people, was said to be involved. Later on, Loose Cannon even talked about it on the off-the-record clip, saying Rick Ross, who's Meek's mentor and the head of Maybach Music, paid $50,000 to get Meek released.
He walked in.
Can't even get to the intro. No. God damn it.
He walked in. As soon as he walked in or whatever, all the security that was with him, they spent around. I grabbed cuz. Like, bro.
We're not going to tell all the details.
No, we got to hear this one.
I said, get on the phone with Ross.
This one going to go high. What?
Get on the phone with Ross. Crips. So he got on the phone with Ross. I took on the phone with Ross. We needed that bag, or because was.
Oh, he owed y'all money.
No, he didn't owe no money. We took the money.
Oh, this was some extortion. Oh shit.
That podcast episode didn't stay up for long though. After Big U sent a cease and desist letter, it got taken down. The whole thing was a bold power move. It showed that even big names like Meek Mill weren't untouchable when they were on Big U's turf. And for Rick Ross, paying that money was probably the only option. He kept Meek safe, but it also showed just how much control Big U seemed to have over people in the game. Then there was the run-in with DJ Khaled. You wouldn't expect someone like Khaled, Mr. We the Best, always smiling and spreading good vibes, to get caught up in something like this, but according to some stories, he did. Khaled, known for his big-name collabs and positive energy, made a lot of trips to LA for music videos and events. That's apparently what put him on Big U's radar. The drama goes back to a music video shoot in Crenshaw. Loose Cannon, who used to be close to Big U, claimed that Big U sent him to press Khaled for money. Why? Well, the story goes that Nipsey Hussle brought Khaled to Crenshaw to shoot a video without checking in or getting Big U's permission. That didn't sit well with Big U, who supposedly had a rule that artists had to pay a hood tax to shoot in areas under his control.
But there was a lot of big politics getting into it with certain people. You know, Hussle had DJ Khaled in the hood, and Hussle frontline that.
People on X and Reddit said Nipsey wasn't down with paying that tax, and bringing Khaled along without clearing it with Big U might have stirred things up even more. Some think it added fuel to bigger issues later on, though there's no hard proof tying this specific moment to anything major. Online, some fans felt like it was unfair, especially since Khaled putting Nipsey on his album was a huge look for him. They saw Big U's move as just taking advantage of artists trying to put on for the community. But just to be clear, all of this comes from Loose Cannon and online talk. There aren't any official reports or confirmations. Big U hasn't said anything publicly about it, and DJ Khaled hasn't addressed it either. Then there's Quando Rondo. Back in March 2021, Big U went on The Breakfast Club to talk about the FX show Hip Hop Uncovered. While he was there, he brought up why young rappers should stay connected with OGs when they're moving around different neighborhoods.
The youngsters get out and then they have to have an experience before they realize I should have checked in.
He mentioned Quando Rondo, a rapper from Georgia who also reps the Rollin 60s. Big U said Rondo had recently tried to call him, but he didn't answer. He made it clear that he felt Rondo only reached out when things got messy, specifically after the deadly altercation in November 2020 in Atlanta that led to King Von's death. Big U's exact words were something like, "You can't call me when the fire hot. You didn't mess with me before that."
They don't really with us until it's a problem. Then they call him. Like Quando Rando. I just showed Envy. Like, you can't call me now. You can't call me when the fire hot.
Basically, he was saying Rondo had his number all along but never reached out until things got serious. A lot of fans and media took that to mean Rondo was looking for protection, especially since there was a ton of heat on him after King Von's death. Rondo's crew was involved in the shooting, though Rondo wasn't charged and claimed it was self-defense. Rondo didn't waste time responding. He posted a video on Instagram saying that he never called Big U for protection. He said he actually reached out to talk about doing charity work and trying to move away from all the street stuff. He made it clear he was trying to do something positive. And the thing is, this kind of pressure didn't just hit rappers. Some athletes were reportedly feeling it too. For instance, Shaquille O'Neal. The situation between Shaquille O'Neal and Eugene Big U Henley involves allegations of fraud and extortion tied to a donation O'Neal made to Henley's nonprofit. According to a Los Angeles Times report from March 2025, Shaq donated $20,000 to Developing Options, a nonprofit connected to Big U. But here's the issue. Federal investigators say Big U took most of that money and moved it into his own personal bank account.
Henley and his associates allegedly extorted professional athletes and musicians, including NBA star Draymond Green and Lakers legend Shaquille O'Neal, persuading them to donate to his charities and later allegedly transferring the money to his personal bank accounts.
Posts on X around that time claimed Shaq might have been persuaded to make that donation, or worse, that he was straight up extorted. Some people even suggested this wasn't the first time, and that the Crips had been pressuring Shaq since back in the 90s, possibly even playing a role in why he left LA. Still, there's no solid proof that Shaq was actually forced to donate or that he didn't want to help out. Some folks think he might have just wanted to support gang intervention programs or maybe felt like he owed it to the hip-hop community that Big U was heavily connected to. Then there's Draymond Green. He also donated $20,000 to that same nonprofit in 2019, but according to the same report, Henley allegedly took the whole amount and put it in his own checking account the very next day. That's straight up fraud, if true. And it was all laid out in a 107-page affidavit tied to a RICO case. And there's more. That affidavit also talks about a shady dice game from 2019, where a boxer, referred to as AB, reportedly scammed NBA players, possibly including Draymond, out of millions. Big U supposedly stepped in, sent people to handle the situation, and charged $100,000 to get the money back. Then there's the whole mess with Adrien Broner and the rigged dice game. Broner, the loudmouthed boxer, got caught up in a crazy situation that went way beyond the ring. In June 2019, Broner, a former 4-division champ, allegedly cheated some NBA players out of $6.5 million in a high-stakes dice game in LA. According to court documents, a witness known as CW1 said Broner was behind the scam, using teased or loaded dice to win big against the players. He's accused of cheating a current NBA All-Star out of $1.5 million and a former player out of $5 million. Now Big U, who supposedly had control over events like these in LA, wasn't happy when he found out. He reportedly confronted Broner because Broner hadn't checked in with him first before hosting the game. Big U then sent his people to rough up Broner and get the money back for the players, charging $100,000 for his help. Court docs say a bunch of Rollin 60s members were sent to put pressure on Broner, and at one point, Big U even admitted in a meeting that he got into it with Broner over the whole thing. On top of all this, there's a 2019 video where Broner's winning big at a dice game, and another player is heard complaining about the dice and even mentions a gun. This fits with the timeline of the allegations. Then there's Wiz Khalifa. Unlike some of the others, Khalifa's story with Big U seems to be a lot more positive, at least from what we know. In the 2021 FX docuseries Hip Hop Uncovered, which Big U was an executive producer on, Wiz called Henley the godfather of rap, saying, "I don't know anybody who's touched as many superstars as Henley has."
If I was to describe Big U's role in rap, he would definitely be the godfather.
He went on to say that if you're in the rap game, you have to consult with him. He's the guy who makes things happen. Wiz also mentioned that Big U's always supported his community work, highlighting their long friendship, which goes back over a decade. But here's where things get tricky. The RICO indictment brings up a birthday party Henley threw in December 2021 at the Deja Vu Club in LA. Henley supposedly promised big-name rappers, including Wiz and T-Shi, would show up to help draw a crowd. He even negotiated for 33% of the bar profits. The problem? None of the celebrities showed up, Wiz included. On top of that, Henley's crew allegedly extorted $30,000 from someone in the back room, showing the kind of pressure Henley's operation used. That said, there's no evidence Wiz was involved in any of this shady stuff. His name was likely used just to bring people in, showing how Big U could use his industry connections for his own benefit. Unlike some other celebrities, like Draymond Green, Shaq, or SKG, Wiz isn't named as a victim in the indictment. His relationship with Henley seems more about mutual respect and support, with Wiz even donating to Henley's nonprofit and working with him on events like the 2018 banquet with Nipsey Hussle and T.Y. To wrap this up, we can't leave out Nipsey Hussle. His story with Big U is one of the most emotional. Nipsey, born Ermias Askedom, rose from Crenshaw to global fame, and his journey was tied closely to the Rollin 60s. He was a proud member of the gang, but his relationship with Big U was complicated, full of mentorship, rivalry, and even betrayal. Big U took Nipsey under his wing back in the mid-2000s, helping him with studio time and guidance as Nipsey worked on his music. Some of Nipsey's first tracks were recorded in Big U's downstairs studio, and they seemed like they had an unbreakable bond. But things weren't all smooth sailing. After a disagreement over music equipment, Nipsey recorded a diss track aimed at Big U, which challenged his authority.
You don't got a clue for what you want to do. I'm busy getting rich. You think that I'm gonna stop for you?
According to the 2021 docuseries Hip Hop Uncovered, Big U tried to discipline Nipsey for the track, but Nipsey's brother stepped in and stopped things from escalating. Federal wiretaps later caught Big U saying he was bigger than Nipsey, which must have hurt, especially with Nipsey's fame growing by the day. Things got even worse when Nipsey started distancing himself from the Rollin 60s criminal side, focusing on community projects like Vector 90 and his Marathon clothing store. Some people think Nipsey's decision to stop paying extortion fees to Big U's crew made things worse. Then, in 2019, Nipsey was tragically murdered by Eric Holder Jr., a fellow Rollin 60s member.
Was the Blue Suge Knight involved in Nipsey Hussle's murder? No, I'm not talking about 600. He's a sweetie pie. I'm talking about Eugene Henley, aka Big U.
There were rumors that Big U's influence had something to do with Nipsey's death, but federal authorities haven't made any links. A 2025 post on X mentioned Charleston White claiming that the Rollin 60s targeted Nipsey for stopping his payments, but there's no proof of that. For Big U, Nipsey's death was a huge loss, and a harsh reminder that no one, not even those closest to him, could escape the dangers of the streets. In March 2025, Big U's empire started to crumble. After a years-long FBI investigation, authorities unveiled a 107-page indictment charging him and 18 others with racketeering, murder, extortion, fraud, and human trafficking. The indictment painted him as the head of a mafia-like organization, with the Rollin 60s as its muscle. One shocking allegation was the 2021 murder of an aspiring rapper over a diss track. Big U turned himself in on March 19, 2025, denying the charges. But the evidence was overwhelming. Wiretaps, witness testimony, and financial records. His arraignment was set for April 8th, with a detention hearing on April 10th. If convicted, he faced life in prison, marking a dramatic fall for someone once called rap's godfather.